Hello and welcome to the Patch 5.2 patch notes for Final Fantasy XIV. I'm sorry if my voice sounds odd. I've had the flu, but I'm going to do my best to sound normal in this one. But let us begin. We got a lot to cover, I'm sure. This will have the battle system changes as well, and I'm very excited for that. So starting off, of course, we have new MSQ. It starts with the Rising Stones with Kryl. I actually had like a thing going on with the FC where we were trying to figure out if it was going to start at the Rising Stones or if it was going to start at the Crystarium. I bet the Rising Stones. See that I was right. We have quite a few quests, it looks like, actually. I'm pretty excited for that. Then we'll start off the Sorrow of Werlet. That'll begin. Excited to see that. Then, of course, we have new Eden quests. I'm very excited for those. I want to do all those fights, and, of course, you'll be seeing all those fights. Your Dark Apocalypse. Very excited for that as well. New raid in there. You'll be seeing that on the channel as well. All the fish in the sea, new side quests. I'll probably do a video on that as well because that seems like it could be fun. And then the new Qatari beast tribes that are for disciples of the land. So not for crafters, but for gatherers. That's how I'm going to get my fisher to 80. Since it's the last one I still have. I really want to get the mount that comes from it. And of course they have sinking as well, just like the others. Steward of Note from Raktika, the Concerned Mother NPC. Cool. Cool. And then one of two NPCs at certain points. So just like the Comra stuff with the raid with Yorha, you'll have some options as to how you want to do it. And depending on which one you choose, you get a different quest line, it seems like. So that's cool. The Stewards of Note. Quest materials can only be collected while undertaking each quest. So it's the good version where you get specific materials made just for that quest, and then you can turn them in. Forever. Whether Fair Skies have been added to Lehemeg. Awesome. In its finished state, of course. Certain Chronicles of New Era side quest objective icons have been changed to indicate elevation. That's good. An Aetheryte Shard for the Doman Enclave docks has been added. Awesome. Thank you. New chapters have been added in New Game Plus. Bahamut, Binding Coil, Alexander, Omega, Crystal Tower, Shadow of Mach, Return to Ivalice, the Warring Triad, the Four Lords, Hildebrand, Tales from the Dragon Song War, and Saint Indalam's Scholasticate. That's cool. You can go back and do any of these that you want to do again in New Game Plus. That's awesome. New items from the Gemstone Traders. I kind of wish they would just tell us what those items are. I really want to know, but I'm excited to find out regardless. Participation in fates that appear at seasonal events will no longer be counted towards certain achievements or challenge log entries. Okay. For all of the game. Rewards for Glider Skin treasure maps and Zonner Skin treasure maps have been adjusted. Rewards in the dungeons of Lihagia have been adjusted. Cool. Granted free companies, because you can now rank up more, right? Solo players may now advance production phases in company crafting. Thank you. Following additions and adjustments have been made to subaquatic voyages, new areas, new items, and maximum submersible rank has been increased from 60 to 70. And then, of course, the maximum rank for free companies has been increased from 8 to 30. And at 10, 12, 15, 18, and 20, you get a different thing added to you. Basically, 10 and 15, you get a increasing of your company chest compartments, which is great. 10 gives you to 4, 15 gives you to 5, and then 12, 18, and 20 increases the maximum number of inactive company actions, which is really cool. For housing, private estates and housing awards 19 to 21 and patch 5.1 are now available for purchase. Furnishings from the 14 Furnishing Design Contest have been added. So you get quite a few things, including the chair. I know people were very excited about the chair, the Raktika chair. So that's cool. I really don't like the look of that wall, but I feel like it'll be very useful, that partition, for specific setups. So that's cool. I really like this little outdoor brick-walled, windowed garden. That's cool. New furnishings, including a cool table with some new sandwiches. I love this little Donmeg. There's a word for that. I'm flu brain. I can't think right. And then the Lakeland tree is really cool. I want to say terrace, but that might not be right. All-round mannequins have been added. Thank you very much. It was really unfortunate when I first got into mannequins to be able to hold specific gear sets for me, so where I could see in my room, that like all that existed was here. And like, yeah, Sig is a here, my main character, but or Mikote, I guess is what I have. I guess not here. But I was really upset to find out that only specific ones existed. And it was like, no, you should have them for all races. Come on. I want to be able to see the gear set as it looks on my character, basically, on the mannequins. Come on. New roles have been added, and they're working on that. Following the addition of new orchestrion roles, orchestrion changes have been adjusted as follows. Locales 1 and 2, then raids 1 and 2, and ambient. Okay. Interesting. New aquarium fish have been added. That fish looks super cool. New seed for flower pots. Awesome. Hyacinth bulbs. That's really cool. The Angler's Prince. We saw those in the live letter coverage. Once a canvas is placed, accessing it allows you to select a suitable fish from your inventory. Don't that. Fish will be discarded once printed on a canvas, so it does eat the fish. It will be gone forever. Only creatures listed in the fish guide can be printed on an angler's canvas. Interesting. So that means no quest-related fish like that you would get from, say, the new Kitari beast tribes. New estate tags have been added under renovation and concert hall. Cool. Gold Saucers added a new Leap of Faith that we already knew was coming because of the live letter. The gate schedule has been shifted to allow for it, I'm assuming. So every hour in the hour, Cliffhanger, Air Force One, Leap of Faith, the Fall of Belladia, which is awesome new looking Leap of Faith. And then that is the name of it, isn't it? The previously available stage will now be the Fall of Belladia. The new one is the Falling City of Nem. I was going to say, that's a Nemean city. So yeah, the Falling City of Nem. That's what I get for trying to skim. That will be hourly 20 minutes past the hour and hourly 40 minutes past the hour if you are looking to do the Falling City of Nim. New cards have been added. We get one of the tree monsters from Ilmeg. That is Null. It's definitely not one of the Beastmen from Lakeland. Might be a Null. This is the Bat, isn't it? The Bat from the Raktika dungeon. I can't remember her name at all, but she is from Mount Golg. And then this guy is from Amalrot. Awesome. Playing Dome and Mahjong, an opponent's homeworld can now be confirmed by the opponent list. And then new prizes available for purchase using MGP. Look at that cute little bunny minion. Following songs can now be played using performance assistance, Eternal Wind, and the Mushroomery. Awesome. Prizes available in exchange for Chloe's gold certificates accommodation and Chloe's silver certificates accommodation have been adjusted. All right, then we have the battle system changes. There will be a timestamp just to these if this is all that you care about in the video. Shake it off. Barrier damage absorption has been increased from 12% to 15% of maximum HP. That'll help, actually. Black Mage Foul. Potency reduction after the first enemy is now fixed at 25%. So it no longer drops more, but now it will always be 25 even after the first enemy. So basically, before, for multiple enemies, you would do, say for instance, if you had 3 enemies, it was normally worth it to use Xenoglossy instead of Foul, because you didn't have enough draw from it. Whereas if you had like 5 or 6 enemies, you would always Foul. I mean, honestly, I think you should always Foul anyway. You're doing more damage over the whole, personally. So I get why they did this change, just to encourage you to use Foul anyway, but still kind of unfortunate. I hate drop off at all, and I wish abilities didn't have to drop off, but I get why they do. Summoner, Bio 3, damage over time potency's been reduced from 50 to 45. Miasma 3, potency's been reduced from 50 to 5. Damage over time potency's been reduced from 50. We knew this was coming. HP talked about it a little bit during the live letter. They made Summoner a little bit too strong, so they wanted to buff it back. And they bumped it back specifically on the dots so that your actual abilities that you're using to do damage, not just your damage over time, will not be changed in any way, which I think is cool, but still kind of a shame. I wish they never had to nerf anything. You know, I wish everything could be brought up to the best instead of having to bring down, but I get it. Red Mage, Flesh, potency's been increased from 420 to 440. Contra 6-Day, potency's been increased from 380 to 400. Potency is no longer reduced after the first enemy. Get that drop off out of here. Contra 60 is going to be so good now. Enhanced Jolt, increased to Thunder, and Arrow potency has been changed from 350 to 370. And then White Mage, Afflicted Misery, potency reduction after the first enemy is now fixed at 25%. So just like Foul. Man, Red Mage is going to be really solid. It may not seem like a lot, just that 20 potency buff, right? But on Fleche, which you get to use very often, and then Contra 6-Day, which especially after you get the enhanced trait, you get to use even more often. Not having a drop-off on it means that Red Mage is now way more powerful in AoE. which is awesome. I'm very excited to see that. Meditation gauge has been added for Samurai, right underneath there. Looks really cool. Actually, I like the way that looks a lot. I would really like to see some of the other jobs get gauges for that. I know, like, Monk is the big one that people talk about how good the gauge is because Grease Lightning's just right there, right? But there are some other jobs that could maybe use a little bit of that. Ninja with your trick window could maybe be shown in there, or the cooldown on your mudra in some way. There's a lot of different things that I think could be visually displayed better than having to look up for a timer. Even your dots on, like, a summoner, I think it'd be really cool if that was on your job gauge as well, so you weren't having to look back up to the boss's status bar to be able to see how much longer your dots have, or like a bard's to be able to check it that way. But, you know, maybe they're looking at that, apparently, because they added this meditation gauge for Samurai, so maybe they'll keep an eye on that. Anamnesis Anitor, which I'm very excited to get to run. It can be entered with Trust NPCs, which is cool. Item level sync has been added to the following duties: the Twinning, Academia Anitor, and the Grand Cosmos. Item level sync down to 470. The music for certain instance dungeon boss battles introduced in patches 5.0 and 5.1 has been adjusted. To help alleviate inventory clutter, certain items such as Void Scent Blood and Bat Fangs will no longer drop from enemies in instant dungeons. So, I saw some people on Reddit upset about this because you could use those to sell for cheap gil. Yes, you could. That's true. But I'm at a point now where my inventory space is worth more than the paltry gil that I would get from that. Where, like, I could go gather something to take up that spot instead. And I know I physically have to go do that, right? I don't get to just have that from the dungeon. But there would be times, because I'm bad at managing my inventory, where I would be in dungeon and I would have to discard Bat Fangs or Void Scent Blood because it was taking up space that I needed to be able to get gear to descent. So, I'm really happy with this, but I understand why some people are upset with it. New trial's been added, Cinder Drift. Excited for this one as well. This is a Ruby weapon, and there's an extreme version. I've already got to see the dragon from this in the preliminary patch notes, so I'm excited to see, and I think it was shown in the live letter too. I'm excited to see that in-game. Gunbreaker and Dancer weapons are now available from coffers that appear after completing the Mentioned Ballad Shinryu's domain. It's good. I think Gunbreaker and Dancer weapons should probably be on every fight 6 months out. I understand, like, it takes a lot of resources to make more, but, you know, you should probably be adding those. The drop rate for the Fey Gwibber Trumpet and Innocent Gwibber Trumpet has been increased. These are the dragons, and if you get the 99s, you can now get them. So, push come to shove, you can run Innocence or Titania 99 times and get them for sure, but the drop rate's been increased, so you shouldn't have to do that theoretically. Eden's Verse has been added. Very excited for these fights as well. I want to fight this Ramu Ixion. I want to fight New Ifrit and New Garuda. And then, of course, there's going to be Savage Gear as well. The helm, body, hands, waist, legs, feet, accessory rewards are all the same. It's just now golden antiquity as compared to the previous antiquity. And you'll still be going to Gulgul in Almarang or Yal Yal in Yulmore. So please don't forget about those NPCs. Then, of course, you'll get the Eating Choir coffers. It seems to work exactly the same way. This seems unchanged from the preliminary patch notes, so that is cool. Excited to get into that. And of course, if there are 1 to 4 players in your party replaying a duty, only a single treasure coffer will appear. If there are 5 to 7 players in your party replaying a duty, no treasure coffers will appear. This is so you don't just run it. And trying to make sure you get the gear you want, which you can only roll on once a week. I still don't super love that change. That was the way it was for the first set of Eden raids as well. I get why they do that, but I don't necessarily like that. I still would have preferred the old system. And then, of course, if you're selecting duty completion when you're selecting to run these, you will not be matched with people that have already completed it. Just keep that in mind. Then, of course, we have the Book of Eden's Verse Apocrypha that you get for the Savage version. These, of course, can be turned in for gear as well. Following duties been added: the Raid Finder, Cinder Drift Extreme, Eden's Verse, Fulmination, Furor, Iconoclasm, and Refulgence. These following duties have been moved to the Duty Finder: the Minstrel Ballad, Hades Elegy, Eden's Gate Resurrection Savage, Eden's Gate Descent Savage, Eden's Gate Inundation Savage, and Eden's Gate Sepulture Savage. Healing potency up effect gain from the Echo now applies to all HP restoration items rather than healing spells only. So this is great, by the way. This is especially great for soloing. If you are somebody that really likes to solo old content unsynced, having the Echo now affect your second wind, or having your bloodbath, anything like that being now affected by the Echo is really powerful, instead of it just being HP restoration item or actions. So, or spells. I mean, now it applies to actions, which is really cool. That's going to be really helpful for soloing things, especially like if you wanted to unsync solo as a warrior. Although, to be fair, it's also going to help in progression when you're progging and you're fighting things that you haven't fought before, maybe, and you're fighting them at level that have Echo. That's going to be very handy, especially like Trials Roulette, where, let's be honest, sometimes people don't know how those fights work and don't seem to learn after a couple wipes. That will help a lot. So I'm very excited for that change. Players will now receive the power of the Echo in the event all party members are incapacitated during the following trials. The Minstrel's Ballad, Hades Elegy. The following adjustments have been made to the copy factory. The weekly restriction on rewards obtained from coffers has been removed. The weekly restriction on obtaining manufactured coins has been removed. They always do this every time. As new raids come out, the old ones, the restrictions are relieved on, so that you can just run them forever if you want to get the specific stuff that maybe you haven't got. Weekly restriction on obtaining Colossus totems has been removed as well from the Epic of Alexander Ultimate. Item level will now be synced to 475. The adjustment was implemented to preserve the difficulty of the encounter, as well as the rarity of the achievement rewarded for its completion. I don't want you to be able to just walk in there and take it out once you're at like item level 620 or something. Following additions and adjustments have been made to Elegant Tomestones. Elegant Tomestones of Allegory have been added. Players can only obtain 450 Elegant Tomestones of Allegory per week and carry a maximum of 2,000 at one time. Moreover, players can only receive Elegant Tomestones of Allegory after reaching level 80 with at least one class or job. Elegant Tomestones of Allegory will be replacing the Phantasmagoria. Will be replacing the Goetia. Phantasmagoria will be staying. The weekly limitation on Elegant Tomestones of Phantasmagoria has been removed, so now you can have as many as you want throughout the week, but you can still only hold up to 2,000. And the Elegant Tomestones of Goetia are no longer obtainable. You can still, of course, turn them in for Elegant Tomestones of Phantasmagoria by talking to Oriana in Mordona, just like always. And then Elegant Tomestones of Genesis and Elegant Tomestones of Mendacity have been removed from the game. Duties listed within Duty Roulette Expert have been changed. Before, it was Amalrat, the Twinning Academia, Anadur, and the Grand Cosmos, which was really cool. It was nice having an Expert Roulette with 4 different dungeons you can get to, though you almost always got Amalrat. That's a great dungeon, I'm not complaining, but you almost always got Amalrat. Now it'll be the Grand Cosmos and Anamnesis Anadur. And then, of course, to do Expert Roulette, you now have to be item level 440, which makes sense. Following duties have been added to Duty Roulette level 80 dungeons. That'll be Amalrat, the Twinning, and Academia Anadur. Duty Roulette level 80 dungeons will become available upon completing all associated duties. Duty Roulette bonus, Elegant Tomestones of Phantasmagoria times 100, and Elegant Tomestones of Allegory times 15. That's not bad, actually. 15 Allegory for running an 80 dungeon that you've already ran many times before and should at this point be pretty easy. Especially with the new item level we're going to get with all this, 440. The following, or not 440, 465, 470 will be like the regular, somewhere close to that with all this. Because 475 is the Alexander Ultimate Sync. Cinder Drift's been added to Trials. Copied Factory's been added to Alliance Raids. That's going to be fun for people that don't know how to run that one. The following duties have been added to normal raids, Fulmination, Furor, Iconoclasm, Refulgence. That's going to make normal raids really fun for a little while, too. And then Mentor Roulette has added Anamnesis, Anadur, Cinder Drift, Fulmination, Furor, Iconoclasm, and Refulgence. And then, of course, now to run Mentor Roulette, you need to be 4-5. The number and types of Elegant Tomestones received from Duty Roulettes have been adjusted. Before, it was, for Expert, was 60 Goetia, 40 Phantasmagoria. Now it's 60 Phantasmagoria, 40 Allegory. It'll be that way pretty much with all of these. 100 Poetics for 50, 60, 70. Is still Poetics, but 100 120 Goetia is now 120 Phantasmagoria. For leveling, 20 Phantasmagoria has become 20 Allegory. 100 Goetia has become 100 Phantasmagoria. Roulettes is the same way. Swap Goetia for Phantasmagoria. Swap Phantasmagoria for Allegory. I don't see any numbers actually changing here. It's just the same thing that always happens. And that's, it's the way it is. You get used to it. That's just how this works. For defeating elite marks has been adjusted. Anything that would have been Goetia before is becoming Phantasmagoria. And then anything that would have awarded Phantasmagoria is now awarding Allegory, which is cool. Deep Dungeon has been adjusted as well. If you were getting Goetia before, you're now getting Phantasmagoria. If you were getting Phantasmagoria before, you are now getting Allegory. And then Dungeons of Liagia has been changed as well. Now you get Allegory instead of Phantasmagoria. Then Eden's First, Fulmination Savage, Furor Savage, Iconoclasm Savage, Refulgent Savage, and the Cinder Drift Extreme have all been added to Stone Sky Sea. Let's look at these PvP job changes. Medical Kit, which is something that I think every job has. I was going to say almost, but it changed from Vanward and Rearward Potion to all be Medical Kit. Your potency has been changed from 2,000 to 6,000 to 3,000 to 600, or 6,000. Man. That's really cool, though. I think that Medical Kit, it can be used to get out of a bad situation, but theoretically you're using it before you're on the verge of dying. So that buff is not really going to change much, I think. That's really cool. I like that. It's not going to change much, as in it's not going to be a problem. I think it's going to be a good change. For the shared take actions, Full Swing, potency has been increased from 1,000 to 1,200. Reprisal, the recast time has been reduced from 60 to 45 seconds. Rampart, the recast time has been reduced from 60 to 45 seconds. For the shared physical DPS actions, Feint, effect potency has been reduced from 25% to 20. Bloodbath, the portion of physical damage converted to HP has been increased from 50% to 100%. Man, that's really good. Tanks are going to be more tanky, and DPS are going to be able to heal even better. Though Feint got a little bit of a nerf for it. Feint was really strong in PvP, so I don't blame them at all for that. Shared range DPS actions. Concentrate. Increased potency has been changed from 25 to 50%. Ouch. All right. Shared magic DPS actions. Drain. Potency has been changed from 400 to 2,000 to 600 to 1,800. Recast timer has been reduced from 45 to 30 seconds. Etheric Burst, potency has been increased from 600 to 1,200. Effect lengthening weapon skill cast times and recast time, as well as spell cast time and recast time, has been increased from 10% to 20%. That's cool. Shared healer actions, Largesse, recast time has been reduced from 60 to 45 seconds. Awesome. And Attunement, healing potency has been changed from 2,000 to 6,000 to 3,000 to 6,000. Okay. For Paladin specifically, Holy Spirit, potency has been increased from 1,600 to 1,800. Intervention, the recast time has been halved from 30 to 15. Okay. And Tetsudo's Barrier Strength has been increased from a heal potency of 2,500 to 3,000. One's going to be tankier and do more damage. Nice. Warrior, Onslaught, potency has been increased from 1,000 to 1,200. Shake It Off, Barrier Strength while under the effect of Rampart has been increased from 3,000 to 4,000. Home Gang's effect duration has been reduced from 4 to 3 seconds. Thank you very much. Home Gang was way too powerful, and even that 1 second change is a pretty big change. Nascent Flash, portion of damage absorbed as HP by Nascent Flash effect has been increased from 50% to 100%. And Nascent Glint effect now reduces target's damage taken by 10%. Recast time has been reduced from 30 to 15 seconds. Cool. Dark Knight, Edge of Shadow. Duration of effect reducing target's HP recovered by healing actions has been reduced from 10 to 6 seconds. Flood of Shadow. Duration of effect reducing target's HP recovered by healing actions has been reduced from 10 to 6 seconds. And the Blackest Night. MP cost has been reduced from 2,500 to 0. You can now use Blackest Night off cooldown, basically, whenever you want. So, very nice. Although Edge and Flood did have a little bit of a nerf, I still think it's a net gain for Dark Knight because of how free they're going to be able to use Blackest Night now. Blackest Night is an amazing cooldown, even in PvP. Gunbreaker getting some big changes here, looks like. Bowshock. The additional effect removes all region and barrier effects from target has been added. Wow, that's really good. The additional effect, heavy plus 50% has been removed. Okay, so you don't get both, but Bowshock's still really strong there. Aurora now restores target's HP with a cure potency of 3,000. Recast time has been reduced from 30 to 15 seconds. The additional effect creates a barrier around target that absorbs damage equivalent to a heal of 2,000 potency has been removed. So now it's just a flat heal, but you get to use it every 15 seconds. So that's good. Heart of Light, the additional effect while under the effect of Brutal Shell, its effect is doubled and granted to nearby party members has been added. The additional effect creates a barrier around self and nearby party members that absorbs damage equivalent to a heal of 1,000 potency has been removed. So now it doubles the effect of Brutal Shell and passes it to nearby party members. Heart of Light. Instead of giving a shield. Cool. Gnashing Fang, the additional effect absorbs 50% of damage dealt as HP has been removed. Yeah, Gunbreaker was really strong in PvP, partially because of the Fang Claw Talon combo, just giving you back HP, and that has been removed from all of them. Burst Strike, potency has been reduced from 2,000 to 1,800. Portion of damage absorbed as HP has been increased from 50% to 100%. And Fated Circle, the same thing. Portion of damage absorbed as HP has been increased from 50% to 100%. And then to make up for the loss of free HP given back, Grip, Tear, and Gouge have all been increased from 600 to 800 potency. I think this is going to be a big change for Gunbreakers in PvP. It's a lot of their shielding, their personal shielding, and their HP recurn have all been nerfed pretty badly. However, they're going to be doing more personal damage, and then they have 100% HP back from Burst Strike and Fated Circle. So as long as they're AoEing and there's a lot of enemies around, they should be getting more HP back than they were from Fangclaw Talon combo. So that's cool. I think it could be fun to play around with. And especially, man, removing regen and barrier effects with Bowshock is going to be really strong. For monks, Riddle of Earth, barrier strength has been reduced from a heal potency of 3,000 to 2,000 words. Monk was very strong. Axe Kick, recast time has been reduced from 45 to 30 seconds, so you're going to be able to Axe Kick more. And then Tornado Kick and Forbidden Chakra have both been nerfed by 200 potency from 2,000 down to 1,800. Not too bad, all told. You're going to be Axe Kicking more, and your barrier took a hit, and some of your damage took a hit, but you're going to be still putting out some good damage. And I think it's going to balance out pretty well. Monk was really strong in PvP. Dragoon. Piercing Talon range has been reduced from 20 to 15 yalms. I saw that coming. I love to play Dragoon in PvP. But Dragoon's range with Piercing Talon was incredible. Throwing that spear from so far away. To make up for that, though, High Jump's potency has been increased from 1,600 to 2,000. Spine Shatter Dive's potency has been increased from 600 to 800. The additional effect reduces the recast time of Mirage Dive by 15 seconds has been added. Awesome. Mirage Dive's potency has been increased from 800 to 1,200. Jerskogel's potency has been reduced from 2,000 to 1,600. Nastron's potency has been reduced from 2,400 to 2,000. Life Surge increased the potency has been changed from 20% to 50%. Yeah, Dragoon's not going to have as much range, but Dragoon's going to be incredible with these changes. I mean, yeah, Jerskogel and Nastron are both doing less damage individually, but I think it's still going to balance out with all the other changes. For Ninja, Hyosho Ranryu has been reduced. It was very strong. From 2,400 to 2,000. Goka Mekyaku, potency has been reduced from 1,600 to 1,200. Range has been reduced from 25 to 50 ohms. Bunshin, melee attack potency has been increased from 600 to 1,000. Area attack potency has been increased from 400 to 600. And ranged attack potency has been increased from 400 to 800, which is not bad at all, actually. Going to make up for some of those previous nerfs, which are very unfortunate. Shikuchi barrier strength has been increased from a heal potency of 1,000 to 2,000. Ninja's very hard to kill in PvP because Shikuchi and the medical kit allow you to not just get away, but also to heal quite a bit. So you may be doing less damage with your big attacks, Hyosho Ranryu and Goka Mekyaku, but it's going to be a lot harder to kill, which means more sustain, which means more damage overall. So that's actually a really cool change. Ninja might be too strong now, but sure, I'm willing to give it a shot. Samurai, the only change was to Shoha. Maximum stacks of meditation have been reduced from 5 to 3. Potency with 1 stack of meditation has been increased from 600 to 800. 2 stacks from 1,200 to 1,600. 3 stacks from 1,800 to 2,400. This should just come out to be a flat gain for Samurai. Getting 5 stacks of meditation in PvP can be very difficult to do. So now only having to get 3, but doing more damage with those 3, very, very good. Like that a lot. Bard, Burst Shot, potency has been increased from 1,000 to 1,200. Pitch Perfect. 1 stack has been increased from 400 to 600 of Repertoire. 2 stacks of Repertoire has been increased from 800 to 1,200. 3 stacks has been increased from 1,200 to 1,800. Repelling Shots increased to Soul Voice Gauge has been changed from 10 to 20. And Nature's Mine, increased HP recovery has been reduced from 20% to 10%, but the effect duration has been increased from 10 to 15 seconds The recast time has been reduced from 45 to 30 seconds. All told, I think that is a flat gain for Bard. For Machinist, Heated Split Shot. Potency has been increased from 800 to 1,000. Heated Slug Shots, 1,000 to 1,200. And Clean Shots got 1,200 to 1,400. Flat 200 potency gain, not percent. Heat Blast, 1,000 to 1,200. Gauss Round, 800 to 1,000. Ricochet has been reduced from 800 to 600. AoE was a little strong. But to make up for it, the Bioblaster has been increased from 1,000 to 1,400. And then with Blank, the additional effect, if target is suffering from wildfire effect inflicted by you, Blank's potency is tripled, has been added. And then Tactician, recast time has been reduced from 60 to 45 seconds. Machinist is going to be a lot of fun in PvP right now, because it looks like they're going to be killing a lot of people. That flat potency buff may not seem like a lot. It's just 200 to each of like the 3 abilities. But that's their entire main combo right there. That's a total of 600 more potency than they had before on their main combo. That's really good. And that's not even counting the increase with Gauss Round, which they get very quickly. The Bioblaster 400 potency increase. Yeah, Machinist is going to be pretty good. For Dancer, Saber Dance effect duration has been reduced. Dancer was, they specifically mentioned in the live letter, Dancer was too strong in PvP. So yeah, effect duration for Saber Dance and for Fan Dance 3, has been reduced from 30 to 15 seconds. Standard Finish, the potency for 0 steps has been changed from 400, 800 to 200, 600. Flat nerfs. 1 step has been changed from 600, 1200 to 400, 1200. So you still get the top most damage you can get. 2 steps, 800, 1600 to 600, 1800. So you get less damage possible, but also more damage possible. Then for Technical Finish, 0 steps has been changed from 400 to 800 to 200 to 600. 1 step is 600 to 1200 to 400 to 1200 now. 2 steps was 800 to 1600. It's now 600 to 1800, just like Standard Finish. 3 steps has gone from 1000, 2000 to 800, 2400. So it's got a 200 potency lower chance, and then also a 400 potency more chance, which is pretty good. You're going to, more often than not, you're probably going to be doing less damage with it, but you have a chance to do quite a bit more damage with it. And then for 4 steps, it was 1200 to 2400. Now it's 1000 to 3000. So if you do all the steps, you have a chance to do 200 less potency, and you have a chance to do 600 more potency. So yes, it is a nerf, but at the same time, it's a buff. So interesting. Very interesting. Black Mage, Blizzard, potency has been increased from 600 to 800. Blizzard 4's potency has been increased from 1200 to 1600. Flare's potency has been increased from 1600 to 1800. And Freeze's potency has been increased from 800 to 1200. Very cool. For Summoner, Energy Drain, potency has been increased from 600 to 800. Then you have Red Mage, Korra Core. The additional effect, Heavy plus 50%, has been added with the duration of 5 seconds, which is really cool. Displacement, the additional effect Bind has been added with a duration of 3 seconds. And for Cure potency has been increased from 2,000 to 3,000. And the additional effect increases both black mana and white mana by 5 when used to restore HP of self or party member while in combat, has been added. So your Cure is now almost an offensive ability because it increases your black mana and white mana as well. That's really cool. And then those added effects are going to make Red Mage play really well in PvP. White Mage, Afflatus Solace regen potency has been reduced from 800 to 600, and Afflatus Rapture regen potency has been reduced from 400 to 300. So, I predict this. I haven't read the rest of these, but I predict that all the healers will be getting a little bit of a nerf on their healing in particular because of how good AoE healing is now in PvP. I feel like everybody's going to get a little bit of a touch on that. But we'll see. For Scholar, Physic. The additional effect increases fairy gauge by 10 when action is used to restore HP of self or party member while in combat has been added. Awesome. Adlo. The additional effect increases fairy gauge by 10 when action is used to restore HP or self or party member while in combat has been added. Succor got the same thing, but 5 for each party member healed. That's going to stack really well, actually. Broil 3, increased to fairy gauge has been changed from 10 to 20. Violus's increased to fairy gauge has been changed from 10 to 20. Oh, wow. Scholar getting buffed. Indomitability now shares a recast timer with Lustrate, so you can't use them both at the same time, but still nice. Maximum charge has been increased from 2 to 3, and recast time has been reduced from 30 to 15 seconds. Scholars are getting flat buffed here. XCOG's recast time has been reduced from 45 to 30. Vocalization's recast time has been reduced from 60 to 45. Lustrate now shares a recast timer with Indomitability. And Aura Blast potency has been increased from 1,000 to 1,600. Recast time has been reduced from 45 to 30 seconds, but it no longer has a knockback. Scholar just got a really good buff. Scholar's going to be really strong in PvP now. That Fairy Gauge is going to be filling all the time. That's awesome. Astrologian. Gravity potency has been changed from 600 to 3,000 to 800 to 3,200. That's a flat buff. Cast time has been reduced from 2 to 1.5 seconds, and recast time has been reduced from 45 to 30 seconds. Astrologian's going to have a really good AoE game now. Essential Dignity's cure potency has been changed from 2 to 4,000 to 2,500 to 5,000. Wow. All right. I guess just White Mage got nerfed then. I was wrong. Red Mage has had Embolden added to it in PvP. Increases damage dealt by self and nearby party members by 10%. Effect is reduced by 2% every 3 seconds for a duration of 15 seconds. Wow. That's really good. You're going to want Red Mages on your party in PvP now. And then Scholar, Dissipation has been added. Increases your healing potency by 50% for 6 seconds. And reduces the recast time of both Lustrate and Indomitability by 15 seconds. Costs 50 Fairy Gauge. So that's why they gave you more ways to generate Fairy Gauge, is because you were going to be eating it for Dissipation. Still cool, though. And then now in PvP, Tether, you will not be able to use as a Red Mage. And Scholars will not have Summon Seraph or Seraphic Veil. Kind of a bummer. I liked using Tether. Really fun, but I get it. The Feast, Season 14, will end and preseason will begin. When the season ends, the top-ranking players from each data center will receive vouchers via the Moogle delivery service. Frontlines, the randomization of PvP alliances have been improved. Thank you. New items have been added. Items added in patch 5.2 will be listed at a later date, like always. We saw this gear in the live letter stuff. Recipes have been added. This is new gear, though. Master recipe books have been added, new ones. The following items can no longer be used. Mission Ceruleum and Mission Ceruleum Voucher. The following items are now categorized as seafood, not bone. Cloud Coral, Blue Cloud Coral, Gloaming Coral, Heaven's Coral, and Red Sky Coral. Okay. And the price of the following items has been adjusted when purchased from NPC vendors. Fieldcraft Immateria 1 from 220 to 44. For 2 from 1100 to 220. And for 3 from 2000 to 400. So you will not be making crazy bank on Demi material. Keep that in mind. Then, of course, we get the changes from the live letter that was mentioned for Materia, where it no longer eats the item for Spirit Bond when you convert to Materia. Now, instead, it just eats the Spirit Bond itself. The subcommand Retrieve Materia has been added to the Materia melding menu. The number of Materia held is now displayed during the Materia melding process. That's awesome. Certain items can now be sold, descent, submitted as expert deliveries, or used in Materia extraction. Cool. Following items can now be equipped regardless of gender. All of the Eternal Innocent stuff. So the bonding ceremony stuff can now be worn by any gender. Crafter actions have been added. Veneration, acquired at level 15, increases efficiency, that's the word, of synthesis actions by 50% for the next 4 steps. That's actually going to be really useful. Oh. Groundwork, acquired at level 72, increases progress at greater cost of durability. Efficiency decreases by half when durability is below durability cost. Interesting. Inner Quiet has been adjusted. Control bonus can now exceed 3,000. Cool. Innovation, effect change from increase efficiency of synthesis and touch actions by 20% for the next 4 steps to increase efficiency of touch actions by 50% for the next 4. So innovation is now matched with veneration, basically. And they both do 50% for 4 steps for their own thing, which is great. I have been using innovation for that 20% buff when I need to try and finish off a item to complete it, and I don't either quality-wise or progress-wise. So it's awesome that it's going to be 50% and that you'll have one for both. That's really cool. Ingenuity has been removed. I liked Ingenuity. It's a shame. And reuse has been removed. I don't think I ever used reuse. Now easier to increase progress and quality for recipes higher than your current level. Due to changes to the crafting system, the required progress and maximum quality of certain recipes has been reduced. The required collectability of certain collectibles has been reduced. For crafter collectibles, crafter custom deliveries, and for Ishgardian restoration. So it will now not take as much collectability to be able to turn in for Ishgard Restoration, which is nice because I was trying to do it on a level 30 leather worker, and I had 3 of them when I was done that didn't even meet minimum collectability, and I did basically everything that leather worker could do at 30 in low level gear. I didn't get it a full set of gear because I had level 35 gear if I could just get to level 35. Gear is important. Don't forget about your gear. Calculation feature has been added to the crafting menu. It allows you to view the expected increase in progress and quality from each crafting action. Calculations, when you select that, it'll bring you to this window showing you your efficiency calculations. That's actually really useful, showing you specifically how much it would add. Wow. I like that a lot. Similarly, the quality tab shows the expected results of actions that increase quality. Yeah, that's going to be super handy. I'm one of those people that has to like gauge it because I want to get it just right. So having an option where it tells me how much specifically, so I can choose which ones I want to use, that's really cool. And then up to 9 favorite actions can be selected by a subcommand. These will be listed under the Favorites tab. I'm going to use that tab a lot. Due to the addition of the calculations feature, information relating to progress and quality increase at 100% efficiency is no longer displayed in this synthesis. No. Following additions and adjustments have been made to the crafting log. Now you'll have the actual like tree that they had promised before, where you'll be able to see, to make this, you need these, and to make each of those, you need these, and that's amazing. I love that so much. Display only materials with insufficient stock. Display only materials with insufficient stock. So, awesome. That's so cool. And click that and go, okay, but what do I still need? And then it'll show you what you still need. That's so cool. To desynth, the level cap for desynthesis has been increased from 460 to 480. Stacked items can now be desynthesized one after another. Thank you. Love that change. Oh, I cannot tell you how annoying it is to catch a bunch of fish and be like, all right, let me turn these fish into sand so I can level up my desynth some more. Individual click. Individual click. Individual click. For like 27 fish. So annoying. So that's great. I love that. The effects of food and medicinal items will no longer expire during crafting. Now it will expire after you're done with the crafting. Gatherer actions have been adjusted. Patience now required at level 15, previous level 51. PP cost has been reduced from 470 to 200, which is great. Duration's been reduced from 145 to 60 seconds. It doesn't last as long, but it doesn't cost as much either, so that's worth it. Powerful hook set now required at level 15 instead of level 51. GP cost has been reduced from 74 to 50. And precision hook set words now acquired at level 15, previous level 56. GP cost has been reduced from 85 to 50. A confirmation window will now appear when canceling gathering at legendary and unspoiled gathering nodes to let you know, hey, you're canceling this and it's going to go away before you can get back into it again. Are you sure you want to do it? Of course, if you're attacked by an enemy, you will not get the confirmation window because you got attacked. Following favorite items for gatherers no longer have an effect, and adjustments have been made accordingly. All of the traders and matrons' favors no longer have an effect. So you can't buy them anymore. If you have them in your possession, they can be exchanged for awareness tokens, blue crypts, by speaking with a Splender's vendor in Idleshire and selecting token reclamation. Can now be sold to vendors, however, and the help text has been changed. Items that can only be gathered while under favor effects can no longer be obtained, and adjustments have been made accordingly. All the oids, all the round stones, foxglove, blade leaf, wyvern's wart, void nuts, black swan feathers, bitter foxglove, sword leaves, dragon warts, heaven's nuts, and mute swan feathers. Same place, vendor in Idleshire, Splinter's vendor, token reclamation. They can no longer be traded or sold on markets. Following items are now available from the Splinter's vendor in Idleshire under Tradecraft items. Purified coke, high quality. Brazic quote, high quality. Dryad sap, high quality. Moonbeam silk, high quality. Odorless animal fat, high quality. And Sky Spring water, high quality. All of those for blue screen. Now, you will have this awesome notification for fishing. Only the player fishing can see this newly added effect. It can be disabled by setting battle effects to show limited or show none. Character tab of control settings in the character configuration menu. I've been told that depending on how big the fish is or how big a catch it is, it'll have a different number of exclamation points. Versatile lures have been added. They will be available from the Merchant Mender in the Limsa Lominsa lower decks or from the Merchant Mender on the Endeavor, which I'm assuming is the name of the ship there's going to be a sale on for ocean fishing. Adjustments have been made to the message displayed when failing to meet the requirements for fishing at sky fishing and dune fishing to let you know that you're using incorrect bait for those. Hey, maybe you should use bait specifically made for sky fishing and dune fishing. The gathering log and fish guide now display the following information for applicable items. Minor botanist items, not included in the gathering log, and fisher items, not included in the fish guide. New minor and botanist gathering points have been added. New items have been added to gathering points. New fishing holes have been added in both 2.0 areas and 5.0 areas. New fish have been added in both 2.0 areas and 5.0 areas. The level of certain fishing holes in the Rock Ticket Greatwood has been lowered to 70. Awesome. New teeming waters have been added in 5.0. New varieties of fish have been added in 5.0. Ocean fishing has been added to 2.0. The name of the ship is, in fact, the Endeavor. You can go as early as level 1 on Fisher. So if you want to level Fisher and you didn't know where to start, this is a great place for it. Every 2 hours, players have a 15-minute window to register by speaking with Drix. All right, try again. Drictora on the... that's a name. On the Limpsalominsa lower decks. If you wish to enter as a party, the party leader must be the one to speak with the NPC. Ocean fishing is available. The NPC will marked with a exclamation mark, a blue one, on the map. Depending on the time slot, the route taken and time of arrival at the destination may vary. For more information, speak with Drixthora on the Limpsalominsa lower decks and select View Sailing Schedule. You can also set an alarm for the time of departure via sub-commands. The Endeavor sails to fishing locations such as Costa del Sol and Horizon, allowing you to see the sights of Eorzea as never before. Players will have 7 minutes to reel in fish at each location, various rewards on offer. While versatile lures can be used, there are other types of lures created especially for the Endeavor. Purchase these lures, speak with the merchant and mender on the Limpsalominsa lower decks or on board the Endeavor. Other types of lure may also be used. Rewards are given according to the points earned during ocean fishing. Releasing or discarding fish will not reduce your point total. Cool. Information on points earned, the 3 most recently caught fish, and the time remaining can be viewed during the fishing trip. Also view a list of fish that you have caught in the score overview. Bonuses are awarded upon fulfilling certain conditions, either individually or as a group, which affect the rewards given upon completion. Spectral currents will appear under... Spectral currents, I thought that was special for a second there, will appear under certain conditions and allow a greater number of fish to be caught for a limited time. Experience point gain. Ocean fishing awards experience points based on your level regardless of which fish are caught, making it ideal for leveling up. Once 3 fishing locations have been visited, the voyage will end and the final results will be announced. You get the point screen here, your bonuses, the XP reward. Rewards are given according to the total number of points earned. Each individual player's rewards differ according to current level. From 1 to 49, you will only get XP. From 50 to 79, you will get XP and Yellow Gatherer scripts. And at level 80, you will get Yellow Gatherer scripts and White Gatherer scripts. Give me a great way to get white scripts. Players who abandon ocean fishing prior to completion will not receive any rewards. To obtain Gatherer scripts, players must first complete the quest Inscrutable Taste. Players who are inactive for more than 30 minutes in the firmament will be logged out automatically. Can no longer just AFK in the firmament. That's people trying to craft there. Get out of the way. What they're trying to tell you. New mounts have been added. Look at this awesome ruby weapon mount. And new chunkable barding. Looks pretty cool. I'm not sold on the ruby in the chest, but like I get it. It's a ruby weapon. It makes sense. Minions, including an Amalroutine and a little shark. Following adjustments have been made to Eternal Bonds. During the quest The Ties That Bind, you may select either a tailgoat or gown, regardless of the character's gender, when receiving items from the outfitter. You may also exchange one or for the other by speaking with a Calamity Salvager in Limsa, Gridania, or Ul'dah. You can also, of course, only exchange for items that are within the same plan as the one that you purchased. The number of crafter and gatherer scripts required for certain items has been reduced. Gil is no longer given as a reward when submitting collectibles. No longer the little bit of gil that you got from collectibles. New achievements and titles have been added. The following additions and adjustments have been made to achievements. Crafting and gathering achievements have been combined into a single category. Additional duties and trials now count towards the collection of achievements. For all of your wonderful tank achievements, you will now need to do Cinder's Drift Extreme, Eden's Verse, or Eden Verse Savage. And for the Thank You versions of the achievements, you need to do Anamnesis Editor, Cinder Drift Extreme, Eden's Verse, or Eden Savage. Duty time remaining will now be displayed prior to the disappearance of the circle restricting player movement at the beginning of a duty. Upon completing a duty, the time until players are forced to leave has been changed from 10 minutes to the remainder of the duty's time limit. You can go back in and G-pose and take all the pictures you want, up until the time limit. New retainer exploration venture levels have been added. Awesome. Fees are now charged for items bought from the market board when the player is in the city where the item was listed. That's a weird tax to me, but sure. Why not? The following additions, and I guess that in a way that encourages people to have more than one city that they shop at and more than one city that they sell from their retainers at. Like, I get it, but still very odd. The following additions and adjustments have been made to fellowships. I have not messed with fellowships at all. A notification will be displayed upon login to any of your fellowships if any of your fellowships has a new poll or message on the general tab. Notifications can be toggled on and off with display new notifications upon login option in the list. Cool. Triple Try, collectibles, and chatting have all been added to the activities that could be going on inside your fellowship today. Following additions and adjustments have been made to the Fellowship Finder. Fellowship list now allows players to highlight fellowships that fulfill certain conditions. The number of fellowships on the current page that fulfill these conditions will also be displayed in the top right of the menu. The following conditions can be set: fellowship name or comment, recruiter name, fellowship size. If more than one condition is set, fellowships that meet any of those conditions will be highlighted. Following filters have been added: main and sub-activities and recruiter's homeworld. The number of fellowships displayed on each page has been increased from 20 to 40, and pages in the Fellowship Finder can be changed with LB and RB, L1 and R1 on the PlayStation 4 buttons on the gamepad. Waymarks, of course, have changed. 3 and 4 are now available, and up to 8 waymarks can now be set. They can now be saved and loaded. They cannot be used in a fight once the fight has already started. Waymarks cannot be saved in certain instances, including Eureka and Deep Dungeons. And the change to waymarks being placed during combat does not affect PvP, which still allows placement and removal of waymarks during combat. So we talked about this during the live letter breakdown. I understand it. I get it. I think as a whole, this is going to be a good change, but I also understand why people may be a bit confused about it. And I still think this 4 looks like a G. Moving on. Adjustments have been made to the duty recorder. Duties that can be recorded have been changed. You can now record in Hades' Elegy and in the Copied Factory as well. Cool. In the Copied Factory, though, the approval of all 24 members is required. So good luck with that if you don't have a group. The following additions and adjustments have been made to Group Pose. Camera and lighting settings can now be saved and loaded, which is awesome. Camera settings that can be saved: position, zoom, angle of view, and roll angle. Lighting settings that can be saved: lighting 1 to 3, position, type, and color. Character lighting and manual brightness settings. The range of camera movement available from using the A and D keys or left stick have been increased. Frames that are not affected by camera settings have been added. New frames have been added. When activating Group Pose, the guide for settings and controls will be displayed automatically. The time taken for Group Pose to activate when several players are nearby has been reduced. Following adjustments have been made to the Party Finder for 2.0, 3.0, and 5.0 content. The category Exploratory Missions has been renamed to Gathering Forays. When recruiting for Alliance raids, the recordable toggle allows you to specify the duty recorder may be used. Only applies to Alliance raids compatible with the duty recorder. As of patch 5.2, only the Copied Factory is available. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the Duty Finder. When the duty commencement window appears, you may now view your Duty Finder settings. So this is an easy way to know if you unsynced and you're going as a tank or a healer and you're used to getting instant queues and you didn't want to unsync it. It's an easy way to be able to see, wait, no, that's unsynced. Let me withdraw. When withdrawing from a duty that is about to start, a message will be displayed regarding the associated penalty. Using the Duty Finder as a member of a party, this message will be displayed for all party members. The message will only be displayed in cases where penalties apply, rather than every time the withdraw button is used. Thank you. The Frontline Freelancer option has been removed from the Duty Finder because now it's on by default. Once the duty commencement window has appeared, players can no longer move to another area. Makes sense. The option Reply in Selected Chat Mode has been added to the subcommands available from player names in the chat log. It is now possible to change the chat log to that of a selected player. I guess if you just want to talk to one person, that's cool. Setting for the following chat channels can now be accessed from the associated windows. Party Members tab of the social menu. Alliance, Party Members tab of the social menu. Free Company window. PvP team window. Beginner, Novice Network window. A player logs out during the 72-hour period in which they have returner status, does not log in again for 45 days or more. They will receive returner status again for 72 hours upon logging in. Cool. The camera distance set when logging out will be retained upon logging back in. Thank you. That's awesome. If the recommendations window is locked when logging out, it will now be locked when logging back in. Cool. Requirements for acquiring certain toy chest minigames have been adjusted. Players who completed either of the seasonal events in Adventures We Trust or Message in a Bottle will now have access to the following toy chest minigames: Slide 1 plus 14, Concentration, and Cheap Dungeon. Players who have completed the seasonal event Deus Ex Machina now have access to the following toy chest minigame: Egg Hunter Riggy. Minigames featured in future seasonal events will also be unlocked in a Dice command has been added. It will display a random number from 0 to 999 in the current chat channel. Awesome. Following options have been added to the character configuration interface. Log window settings, general tab, log filters, announcement tabs, alarm notifications. You can turn those off. Adjustments and additions have been made to text commands, dice, to be able to roll a dice. Nameplate, ISP, to change your PC display name settings. Nameplate type to change your PC display type settings, and then slash waymark slash wmark to be able to bring up the waymark submenu. Additions have been made to the auto translation dictionary. Additions have been made to PlayStation 4 autocomplete dictionary. New music has been added. The launcher layout has been updated for Windows and PS4. Let's look at some of the resolved issues and then the known issues, and we will be done. Following issues have been addressed. An issue in the main scenario quest Return of the Bull, wherein, under certain conditions, the duty could not be completed. An issue during the battle with the Demon Wall in Emdapur Keep, wherein, under circumstances, players would be returned to the entrance of the room. Wow. Because of that, Demon Wall's repel will no longer cause knockback. Interesting. An issue in the Bowl of Embers Hard, wherein Hellfire could be prevented by stunning effort. Come on now. Was that an issue or just a cool thing you could do? An issue in Borderlands Ruined Secure, wherein the map icon for interceptor drones and interceptor nodes were identical. An issue in Onsile Hakir, Nanchignatum, wherein, upon returning the player's starting point, symbols for unactivated OVUs were displayed as complete. I have seen that happen, actually. An issue in Trust Dungeons, wherein using the ninja action Trick Attack immediately after Reen uses Trick Attack caused the buff timer to stop counting down for several seconds. That seems really powerful. An issue wherein the character's facial expression would not change with certain Dragoon actions. An issue wherein the help text for certain actions was incorrect. An issue wherein changing to another job immediately after defeating an enemy would, under certain conditions, grant experience points to the job but to which the player changed rather than the one used to defeat the enemy. They've been working on fixing that one for a long time, so I'm glad they got that one. An issue wherein certain Weaver recipes had their maximum starting quality incorrectly displayed as 50% instead of 5%. An issue wherein the Storm Storage Bench appeared under the wrong category while previewing indoor furnishings. An issue wherein using the copy item name subcommand from the chat log and pasting it into the chat text entry field would cause the game to freeze on the PS4 version. An issue wherein the game could not be run in DirectX 11 mode with certain combinations of gamepad and drivers. And other various issues have been addressed. What are our remaining known issues? What we got? An issue wherein the Magic DPS role quest NPCs Sarek and Tainer appear in the Crystarium at the Wandering Stairs regardless of quest progress. That is a high priority issue for sure. They're working on that one. An issue wherein the action cast cannot be used at the following fishing spots: Central Thanalan, the Clutch Northern Thanalan, Cerulean Field, Southern Thanalan, Burnt Lizard Creek. That's a big problem. Yeah, that's high priority. An issue in Cinder Drift wherein certain enemy attacks are not displayed correctly in the battle log. That's low priority. An issue in Eden's Verse Iconoclasm wherein the minimap does not display enemy positions. That's a problem. An issue in Eden's Verse Raids wherein under certain conditions enemies are displayed incorrectly. That's a problem. An issue in Eden's Verse Savage Raids wherein certain enemy attacks are not displayed correctly in the battle log. Not a big issue. An issue wherein certain areas of half-timbered cottage walls, half-timbered house walls, half-timbered mansion walls are displayed incorrectly. An issue wherein footsteps cannot be heard when moving or jumping on certain furnishings added to patch 5.2. Sure. An issue in the Coppery Factory wherein under certain conditions the duty recorder does not record the first chapter after entering the raid. PS4 version only. An issue in Eden's Verse wherein the Helm of Golden Antiquity is incorrectly named Golden Antiquity. Interesting. An issue wherein the description for the Blue Mage action Feather Rain indicates its damage decreases when attacking multiple enemies. The correct text should read, deals wind damage words with a potency of 220 to all enemies at a designated location. And it's shooting the Qatari Beast Tribe quest Rocket Ronka, that's a good name, wherein playing as a fisher causes the duty list to display catch a tree scale rather than catch a splendid tree scale. The quest itself functions as designed. Let me know your thoughts to this patch in the comment section down below. And as always, I've been Trey. This has been the Full Spectrum. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that Final Fantasy XIV has to offer.